Hey everybody, it's Carla. Welcome to the Happy Bookmaker. So I hope you're all doing wonderful, and I have a question for you. Do you have a whole bunch of miscellaneous little small food boxes laying around, taking up space or taking up space in your recycle bin or your trash? Well, here's a way to take 3 of these boxes, probably 3 minimum, and unless they're really thick, and make a junk journal out of it. And so I'm talking like lazy crafter's way to make a junk journal. This is gonna be super easy. You can complicate it up as much as you want, but the idea is to make it super easy. So as you can see, I have 3 small boxes here. I have a cake mix box, I have a frozen mashed cauliflower box, and I have a Nutty Buddy box. I don't know, is this an oxymoron? Possibly. I won't even bring up the oxymoron part, but you can probably guess. So what we're gonna do is we are going to glue these together in a way to make one nice sturdy, it's still gonna be sturdy, book for, or cover for a junk journal. So let's get these out of the way for a minute. I'm gonna show you the other materials we're gonna be using. So this really pretty floral fabric. Boy, I really got you close today. Is that gonna be too close? No, I think it's okay. So this is a really pretty, now which way does it go? I don't think it matters. I guess it doesn't really matter. So I made curtains out of these ones. So I have quite a bit of this fabric left over. And so this is gonna be the cover. So let's just pretend that this is the cover. It probably will be the outside part. And it's gonna go like this. And then my plan at this point is to run a piece of this really pretty, what is this stuff called? Burlap ribbon around it. And I'm gonna try to tuck this in. That makes it a little more complicated. If you didn't wanna tuck this into the outside, to the inside fabric, it would be less complicated. It's not complicated, but you know what I'm saying. It would be easier not to do that. And then we are going to do one of these fun, I love these elastic band closures. It matches beautifully with that forest green. So I'm calling this like forest green and rose tone. And then on the inside, we are going to have this really cool, I've used this so much and I just love it. It's just a natural color fabric. I've used it on many insides and on spine covers and that sort of thing. If I think that we need another layer of fabric, I'm gonna also lay down this, which is a coordinating fabric to this. I mean, it's kind of pretty, right? So maybe I should just do it for the pretty factor of it. And then we're gonna be using the natural thread, natural color wax thread, because you can see how beautiful that works with our fabric. And then also on the cover, I'm thinking about over this, doing this pretty applique, and then possibly, even though it adds a little bit more work, trimming that transition from this to this with this pretty pink fabric. Isn't that pretty? So that's the game plan. Now I've picked out really beautiful signature pages. Let's get all this out of the way. Okay, so I've got these really pretty signature papers, and a lot of these, I don't know why I've been hanging on to them. I think because they're bigger and I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them as a signature page or as, you know, some kind of embellishment inside the book. So, so we're gonna kind of go through these, and a lot of these I got from the Paper Outpost. Pam sells what she calls fundles, and it's, what is it? I think it's like 100, at least 100 pieces of, not all vintage, but a lot of it is vintage, ephemera and goodies pages for your junk journals. So we're just gonna kind of go through these one at a time, but how fun is this page? I don't have a date on it, but it is a little caramelized, so it is definitely older. I don't think it's like terribly antique. And this is just one of my vintage book pages from one of my books. And then this is one of these fun, what is it? I think it's like meeting notes of something. Thursday, April 2nd. Yeah, it's got like times, and Actually, I'm not sure what it is, but it's pretty cool. Now we are gonna have to cut off a fair amount of this, which is kind of sad, but the book that we're gonna make is probably gonna be a little bit smaller. So, you know, some of this is gonna get lost, but I will reuse it in something else. And then a pretty music page. These 2 pages are from my old Heidi book. I just think that they're such fun pages. And again, this is botanical pages that I use from Macmillan Book of Wildflowers. And I use these quite often. And I will often put them in the center of the signature because they're so pretty and I want them, you know, like the whole image to be shown. So we'll see about that. And then here's another old, some kind of old sheet of writing, Hall of something Lodge, November 37. Oh, 1897. 1897. Really? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then this is some kind of a dictionary-ish page. Another cool old music page. Love that. Look how lovely and sepia tone this is. And this looks to be some, oh, Sears and Roebuck page. Oh, I love this. That is too fun. Here we've got another music page. Sometimes what I try to do is like, say I want music pages, I'll do one for each signature sort of thing. So that's my thinking on that. And then this is a book from a book of mine called Birds of Australia. And they're just really beautiful bird images, nice big pages. It isn't vintage, but they're very nice. And then these are some of my kind of hand-dyed, stenciled, spritzed kind of papers. And I'll just put a few of those in there. And another one of my antique book pages. And again, some more dyed papers. And then this, I believe, is coffee or tea. I can't remember. And then 3 of my sort of, what was I calling these? Novelty pages. Yeah, novelty. So let's start making the cover. All right. So how are we going to make a book out of these 3? You might be asking. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 3 boxes that are of similar, you know, similar size. But what we want is a little bit bigger spine, a little bit smaller spine. I'm calling this the spine, the side, and then a little bit smaller. Reason being, we're going to be tucking these books into each other. So let's see. I got to try to remember which was which. Which was the outside. I think these are very, very close. It's a little over 1.5. And this one, I think, might actually be very similar. This is a tad smaller. So yes, so it's going to be this on the outside, this on the inside. Now this one has actually too small of a spine. Because you can see that it's probably about ½ an inch too small. The beauty of this one is that it's going to be on the inside. I decided because it's smaller for one thing. But well, here, let's break this one open. So, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on this because what we're going to do with this one anyway is we are going to make it, how do I say this? We are going to fold here, if that makes sense. Like we're going to bend it and make the spine as big as we want it to be. And then I think we're gonna like couch this in between these other 2. Oops. Reason being, I like that this is white on the inside and that I'm gonna be putting this inside of it. So what we're gonna do then, so obviously this has to be a tad bit smaller than this one. Do you ever have trouble remembering like a measurement? And it's one of these weird ones where so it's like 1.5 and then there's like this little, it goes like this far. I'm gonna put a little mark with this little marker and because I don't wanna have to think that hard next time. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this, and we know that we need this spine to be a little bit smaller, right? So let's make it to say this mark, okay? Do you see See what I did there? See what I did? Okay, so I made it to like this other little mark right next to it. And we're gonna kind of make some marks down here, and then I'm gonna like score it lightly, and we're gonna bend it in. And what's gonna be nice with this inside of the other two, it's gonna be totally unnoticeable that this is kind of, you know, modified. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm just picking sort of a spot here where it looks like it's sort of equidistant. Like this is the line. Oh, I got another one on here accidentally. That's not gonna go away. Okay, because these are permanent. So, so you may or may not want to do that with a permanent marker. So there's this line, okay, and then there's about the same amount on this one. So I'm gonna make a line or a little mark here and here. Now I'm just gonna kind of make a line with this. I wonder if I even have to do that. You know what, I think we can just go in right in with the bone folder and score this, sort of score it. It's not, you know, it's not gonna be sharp, but we just wanna be able to fold it nicely. Okay, so we're gonna go in with, I'm actually gonna use my X-Acto because I don't think that the bone folder is going to make a good enough mark on it. This is really thick. It doesn't look that thick, but it kind of is. So I'm just gonna make a light score, just enough to be able to, you know, kind of break that seal and fold it. And I did go a little bit on the outside of that line, so I will remember that, and on this side, go on the inside of that line. So now if all of your boxes are exactly the right size, you know, you have the exact right, you know, side of your boxes, you don't have to go through all this. Now I'm gonna bend it back. I probably should have done it on the other side. And then I'm gonna bend it back forward again, if that makes sense. And now I'm gonna fold it in on itself. It doesn't help that these things are like in my way right now, but they're gonna be gone very soon. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? If I had done it from the outside, I probably could have just done it this way to begin with. And then now I'm gonna take the bone folder and I'm gonna kind of, you know, fold this down. I'm gonna kind of press this down. Okay, so we have a new fold for that. Let's see where that is. Okay, and then on this one, and then again, fold it in on itself, like so. Yes, if I was to do this again, I would do the scoring on the outside. It would make it much easier. Okay, so now it's going to go where we want it to go. Let's check it. Let's check it, make sure it goes nicely on the inside. It's really hard to tell, I know, but that looks good. We're gonna know better after all this other stuff is gone. And then this one has to fit nicely on the inside of this because I want that white showing. Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I can feel it. It does fit in there. Okay, so now the next thing is we need to trim all of this off, obviously. Okay, so I've got these all trimmed up. Let's see, get you all straightened up again. Okay, so this, I believe, is going to be the outside. It is the sturdiest. And then this is our one that we had to modify. And again, if your spines, if your book sides are all the right size, you don't have to go through what I just went through, which wasn't that hard. But so this is going to be like this. So what we have to do is we have to pick a size of the book. Obviously, we can't go bigger than the smallest size. So we're going to have to go with the smallest size. So I think it's going to be this keto-friendly yellow classic cake mix box. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is just kind of trace around each of these so that we all match up together, and then I'm going to trim them with my X-Acto. So what I'm going to do is, I was starting to do it from the inside, but I'm going to do it from the outside because it will be folded like this. So let's do this one because this would be the next one. right? So we're gonna do this. And then I'm going to lay it down. And I'm just gonna make a line. And it's good because we're gonna be cutting off some of this messed up, wrinkled part right here. So yeah, we're gonna just go like this and go around. We already have our template, which is our smallest box. Okay, so I've got that one marked out. Okay, we've got our middle one done. But this one is this is a sad little guy. Okay, and then on the inside of that, and this is really snug. This is, I think they're basically the same size now, but you know, it's gonna work. I'm gonna get it glued in there nicely. So now we're gonna go like this, because this has to conform to this. Make a mark. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that when I put them together now, it actually still, these poke out a little bit. I wasn't taking into account the folding aspect of it. So now I've got them in place. So we're gonna do this. And now I'm gonna just take this, my marker, and go all the way down again. And that'll probably, yeah, I'm gonna be cutting both of those off the same amount. Okay, let's turn it over. And the same on this side. Okay, so I've got them all trimmed, and I did have to kind of do like a graduated trimming, because again, as it folds, then it, you know, it pushes the inside ones out. So I think I've got it pretty good. Obviously I'll know for sure once it's glued down, but it looks good. So I guess we'll start gluing. I'll be using my Fabrifix glue. It's a nice sturdy one. And we'll just like, gonna really load it up because we want this to be very secure. So I'm just gonna be gluing, you know, each inside into each cover. And in the end, we'll have a nice thick book cover. Okay, so I'm gonna be placing this one, I don't think it matters which direction we're going, inside of this. And I wanna just make sure that that folds nicely. Fold it up and make sure we're on the right crease there. We got two. And yep, that's pretty good. And then on the other side, fold that in. Okay, that looks pretty good. That is the two outer covers. Now we've got our Nutty Buddy box, which is gonna go inside here. Now he's the one that might give me a little trouble because it's just a tad, it should be a tad smaller, but it's gonna work. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be nice and snug in there. So we're gonna go in again with lots of glue. Okay, we're going in. Lots of glue. Look at all that glue. Okay, set it down. Go like this. We're gonna press it in really good. I don't know, that looks pretty darn good. Press it into that spine. I wouldn't doubt if some glue squirts out. I put so much in there. Okay, kind of give it a little fold. A little fold to make sure it's in there. Oh, this is nice and sturdy. Look at that. Really nice. And I like having the white on the inside. I'm gonna take the bone folder and just kind of squish all that in there. I can hear the glue sort of crackling in there. So I put a lot in there. We're also going to do some tape, reinforcing these, you know, these corners here, just to make sure that it's really sturdy. But I think this is really good. I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes, and while this is drying, I'm gonna cut the papers down. So we have to decide now, you know, how big this book really is. It is, so I'm gonna mark right here, so it'll be just a little bit under, okay? And then over here, yeah, it's gonna be right around 7. We'll want to go just a tad under 7. I can remember that for our pages. Because, you know, you don't want them popping out necessarily. So yeah, that's gonna be the size of our pages. So I'll let this dry. But the first thing I'm gonna do is cut them to the size, I think just on the paper trimmer, and then get them folded in half. Okay, pardon my mess, first of all, but I just wanted to let you know that there were a couple of these, because they are so old, that I can see that they're very like crispy, and I don't want them to break apart. So I'm gonna put a little piece of washi tape on each side of this seam so that they don't come apart in the book, because I still wanna use them, but I wanna reinforce this crease here. So I'm gonna put down just a little bit of glue as well to really hold that washi tape down. And I'm just gonna cover it with a pretty tape. Oh, isn't that pretty? Okay, so I've got my papers ready for my signatures. I have 3 signatures of 10 pages. And these are all set and ready to go. I've folded them. I've placed them in kind of in an order that I wanted them to look. And I also choose the front page of each signature. So this happens to be, I did pick kind of the same thing for 2 of them. I guess I must like them. Now I've already trimmed the bird beak off of 2 of these. And what that is the little, as you can see, like this little portion that kind of sticks out beyond, because as you have the papers in here, they push forward the ones that are on the inside. So I'm just gonna take my craft knife and ruler, and I'm just gonna trim that off real quick. I've already done the other 2, like I said. And then they're gonna fit really nicely into the book, and they're not going to protrude, although you don't always have to do it. The last book that I did, actually Black 12, I didn't, because I didn't really need to. There was enough room, and I kind of liked the way it looked. So, you know, it's totally, you know, it's totally up to you. It's a personal preference, I guess. And just that easy. Okay, clean this up. So let's take a look at our book here. Oh, it's nice and sturdy. It is really nice and sturdy. You can hear a little cracking there that's just from the glue. We are gonna, like I said, put tape over this and get, you know, kind of reinforce that. And then these are gonna fit really nicely inside of that. How cool is that? Okay, so let's put some masking tape over these seams. You can use, let's see, packing tape, all different kinds of tape. I'm not even really concerned about it coming apart so much as I just want to give it that little extra, you know. So I'm also going to sort of force this open, because, you know, this was all kind of glued in a way that it was like this. And I just want to kind of make sure that this is going to open up nicely for journaling. Okay, so a little bit of Fabrifix, and I think this is wide enough to go over the whole middle. Let's see here. Oh, I might do 2 strips. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 strips. Okay, I've got it down in the middle here. So let's go around to the other side. Okay, so I've got the tape on here, and that's really nice and sturdy, and now we're gonna put the fabric on it. But I did want to show you that if you try to open this all the way, because remember, this is down and dirty, kind of lazy crafting, it is not gonna probably open all the way, because these are all attached. You know, there's really no give. And then on the outside, it is gonna kind of create this little kind of curve if you try to open it all the way. Now, I don't know if it's necessary to open all the way. If it is, this may not be the best method. But if you want it down and dirty, really quick, you know, using little food boxes, junk journal, I think that this is gonna be just fine for that. So, okay, so we're gonna get the fabric on next. And I do not have to worry about this pattern bleeding through. This is a nice dark fabric. Okay, and I'm trying to decide what's the top and what's the bottom. What is the top and the bottom? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna go, let's see. I think it's this way. That's what I'm going with. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this down, and I've done this in several other videos, so I won't go through the entire process with you, but basically you put your glue on the corners and pull your corners in first. Oh, I've got a little clump here. Let's get rid of that. And then you fold in all of your edges. So we're gonna fold in the corners. This is a nice lightweight fabric too, so it makes it a little easier. And I'm gonna go all the way around and do that. And then we're gonna continue on, and I'm gonna fold the rest in. Okay, so I've got this part glued down, and now we're gonna do the inside fabric. So the thing with this is that before I glue this down, I need to do the holes for the elastic closure. So I'm just gonna quick do a couple of punches with this guy, the crocodile. So let me do a couple of quick holes, and let's see here. Just kind of going to eyeball it a little bit because I want to make sure that, again, that this is coming out enough that you know, it holds it properly, but not that it gets, I don't want it in the middle of the book. So right about here, and that's about an inch. So I've done this, and I've gone step by step in a couple of other videos, and I will link one of them so that you don't have to watch this again. It's all the same process. So I'm going to go ahead and get my holes done for my elastic band. Okay, so I've got my holes done. See that? For the elastic band closure, and I'd like to go from the outside in because it leaves a cleaner hole. So now I'm just going to cut a length of this. The idea is that I want this down and under this fabric to hide it. So by the way, one of the ways that I try to figure out how long I want my elastic band to be is I go ahead and just slip the signatures in and kind of play around with, you know, how tight I want this. I have it in the holes in the back, and I can see, I mean, this is way too tight. No one would even be able to put anything on their pages. So I have to obviously adjust that. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning here, back to the back, and pull on this and make this bigger. You also don't want it too loose. You have to allow for expansion for, you know, stuff to go in the journal, but you don't want it flopping around before that happens, right? So let's see here. And you don't know, you can't really know how much stuff is gonna be stuffed into a journal, really. So this is pretty loose. That would definitely allow for a lot of expansion. Let's see. I think that's not bad. It's a little loose right now, but it would allow. I think we're gonna go with this. Okay, so now that I have this down, let me put a little bit more right here. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go all the way around this on the inside, and I'm not gonna glue other than the very middle. I'm not gonna put glue just around the outside and in the middle. Okay, here it goes. So a lot of glue down here, and then again, all around the edges to hold that down. And see, now you can't even see where this is glued underneath of this. Okay, so this is where we're at right now, and I am gonna leave it all, you know, rough like this, because I think it lends itself to the look of the book. Let me clean this up a little bit. We're going to get the signature pages sewn in. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these right into, because this is a down and dirty kind of lazy crafter's book, and I'm going to sew these directly into this spine. So I'm going to put the holes, you know, right in here, and the threads, our wax thread is going to show. Am I going to lay this down? I might, because I think it could use all the sturdiness it can get. So I'm going to glue this down first, and then I'm going to start poking some holes. Okay, so I've got the glue down, and I'm just pressing this in, and the glue is not coming through nicely. That's great. I mean, I think that that adds a little something, that coordinating fabric. So from the outside now, I have to decide where I want my holes. I'm going to use something that I can hopefully read, and that is this little marker. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out. Now again, this is a step that I've done in other videos, so you can also refer to another video if you want to watch this step by step, and I will link some below. Okay, I've gotten the holes in the spine, and let me tell you, it took some doing. So I usually do a hidden spine with, you know, a piece of chipboard and then glue it in. Going through this was, and this is pretty sturdy, it really is. So, whew, got that done. So the next thing is to sew in the pages. After I get these sewn in, we're gonna do some kind of decoration on the cover, and then it's gonna be done. And then we're gonna decide if this is a good journal or not. Okay. So here it is with all of the signatures attached, sewn in, and it looks really nice. The spine has the exposed natural tone wax thread. I mean, I really do like the way this is looking. And then, of course, it's quite loose yet with, you know, with the elastic band, but there's room for expansion there. And so now we're gonna go ahead and attach this ribbon. So what I'm gonna try to do is tuck this ribbon in. I left a little gap here, and go all the way around and do the same on the other side, and then maybe do that pretty embellishment for the front. So I'm going to put some glue on here and get this stuck in there. Okay, so I've got that tucked under there, and it does have wire in it, so I'm going to kind of fold that over. And I did measure, and it's pretty much right in the middle. You can kind of see, I mean, it's a little bit off, just a little bit. But the line of 3.5 is pretty much in the middle there. Just gonna tighten that up a little. I'm gonna go around. I did pre-measure this. Obviously it's still a little bit long. I'm gonna cut that off, but I wanted to make sure I had plenty. So that looks cute, huh? I think it's really cute. I like this little journal. I think it's sweet. So I had to put this on here to hold it down so that I can see what I've got to work with here. Okay, so I've got, oh, that did kind of get stuck down a little bit. So I'm gonna cut this off. So I've got just a small amount going under. Hope I don't cut myself. Let's see. So a little bit of glue on this, and I'm gonna pull this as tight as I can. Fold it over. I know this is an odd way to do it. See, I couldn't do it before sewing in the signatures. Well, I could have, but it would have made it a lot harder. So it kind of has to go at the end here. And I've got to move you over a little bit. Okay. Move it over. Okay. Press this down. It's sticky. And then a little more glue on top of here, so that the fabric can now stick to this. So it's all nice and hidden. It just leaves it a lot cleaner looking. And oh yeah, are we full of glue again? Okay, my pretty holiday look is a little not so pretty. Okay, so I think that that's really down pretty well. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I really like that. Oh, it's a little crooked, but it's not glued down here, so we can adjust. Okay, so what do we think about this journal? I love the way this looks without any kind of embellishment, so I'm gonna leave that alone. You know, it is a little bit different because it doesn't have you know, the flexibility of the joints, because these are all attached with the 3 food boxes. So there is that. You know, I like it. It's, you know, it looks great. It's really pretty. And of course I have these beautiful signature pages in it. I think that for a really quick junk journal, this is a great way to go. Obviously the other ways are a great way to go as well. So, you know, I like it. So you just have to decide, you know, how particular you are about, you know, you want it to lay completely flat, and you don't, you know, you don't want it to kind of do this, although it's probably going to do that anyway, because once these get stuffed, you know, they kind of do that. But like when it's not being used, you know, it's got the elastic band closure. So I really like it. I think it turned out really well. Really fun project, kind of an experiment. So I did want to mention before I close that I had my Etsy shop Black Friday sale, and it was kind of a flop. And I think part of that was because I tried to set up a tiered sale. It didn't work properly, and I know that I had some visitors, but they were probably like, this isn't what you said. And so I figured out that that way is not going to work. So I'm going to do just a straight on 50% off sale. And I'm going to be starting that sale on December, I think it's December 8th. So if you're interested in anything, go ahead and check then. Just wanted to let you know about that. Another good sale in my shop, 50% off, everything over $50, and it's free shipping, of course. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate you as always, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.